See, I had read this really interesting study, technical study of motivation in rats. Let's say you want to motivate a rat. Okay, so first of all, you make him hungry and he'll work for food. So then maybe you have him learn this maze. He has to run the maze to get the food reward. And so he runs it a few times. He knows there's food there. So you put him at the beginning of the maze and you let him go. And then you watch how fast he goes to the maze. Okay, so now imagine you got your hungry rat and you let him go at the beginning of the maze and he zooms up to get the food and he's, moving at like 10 miles an hour. But now you do something different. You put him in the same place, but as well as him being hungry and going after the food, you waft in a little bit of cat odor.
Danger.
Now, yeah. And so that rat will run towards that food much faster than he will if he's just hungry. If you want to run towards something that you want, it's really useful to be running away from something you truly don't want.
Yeah.
And I had a metaphysical take on that too, which is like many religious systems have a kind of notion of something like hell. And so hell is where you end up when you lie. That's one way of thinking about it. You might think, well, is there any psychological utility in that idea? And the answer is, yeah. You need to know where you could end up if things went wrong, because then you're motivated by fear to move forward. If you're not motivated by fear to move forward, then your fear's in front of you stopping you. Because you might think, oh my God, I can't take the risks necessary to attain these goals. What if something goes wrong? Well, it's like, yeah, well then you're frozen. But if you think, no, wait a second, there's risks to proceeding, but nothing compared to the risks of failing. So then the fear is behind you, pushing you forward. That's so you need a vision of hell. It's like, okay, what's your personal vision of hell?
If you were to die right now, how would you feel about your life?
I don't know. I wouldn't feel anything good about my life. Is that what you want to hear me say?
You let your life fall apart because of your own stupidity and your own blindness. It's like you're the worst place you could be in 5 years. Arithmetic helps too.
In which sense?
Well, this is something I've done with big groups of students. So I'll give you an example. So how much time do you waste? So then I get the class to vote. How many of you waste 10 hours a day? It's like 10% of the kids will put up their hands. And it's interesting because I don't define what constitutes waste. I just ask the question. So they're diagnosing themselves, right? I'm not saying you're wasting 10 hours a day. I'm just asking. It's like, given your own attitude, how much time are you wasting? 10 hours a day. It's like 10% of the people put up their hands. Well, when you get to like 6 hours a day, 80% of the people put up their hands. So then we do the arithmetic. It's like, okay, 6 hours a day. It's 42 hours a week. So let's call that a work week, 40 hours a week. So that's a work week. Let's say, what's your time worth? You're a university student. Well, it's certainly worth minimum wage, because obviously, but it's worth way more than that, because if you spend a productive hour when you're 20, then you gain the benefits of that hour for the rest of your life. So there's the compounding effect of time spent when we were young. So I say, well, let's assume your time's worth $50 an hour, which I think is an underestimate, but whatever. Let's call it 50. We could call it 25, but we'll call it 50. That's $2,000 a week you're wasting. It's $100,000 a year. It's like, how much better would your life be if you weren't wasting $100,000 a year? It's like, what is that over 40 years? $4 million. It's like, you're rich. You don't even know it. Quit wasting time. Okay, so make yourself a damn plan. Make it into a strategy. You might be intimidated by it. I don't know how to plan. It's like, yeah, we know you don't know how to plan. Make a bad plan. It's better than the one you've got. And see if that works. You need a philosophy, Cody. And then the goal setting too. Like, I would think about it more like, it's more like the development of a vision. Because goals, it's a bit narrow in a sense. The idea is that you can have a vision of the future and a counter vision. And that you, not only can you have it, you need that. Without that, you won't move forward against your procrastination. And you need real reasons, and terror is a good one. Terror is great, man.